on the airwaves.
What? In the butt?
Local. That's an internet callback right there. What? In the butt? What? I was thinking about that the other day, actually, I'd seen something on South Park, just like clips from South Park when they did that whole episode with the chocolate rain guy and on the baby. Like, I'm a bazillionaire in internet dollars. And then thinking about it of like, if those guys would have came out now with that traction, they would have been.
Yes.
But, that you couldn't monetize it back then.
Speaking of just like in the butt stuff.
Okay. There's a professional transition for you.
I got on a random side swipe of Family Guy clips.
Okay.
The guess what chicken butt? Remember that they went to the world's dirtiest joke. They went to this.
Oh, to an island.
To all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, how disappointing. Like, that was the joke.
Yeah.
But it was
chicken butt.
Like, people still fucking say it now. Like, I had a kid the other day in class go, guess what, Mr. Evans? Was like, what? There's like chicken butt. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I was
still
like,
plays.
Yeah, it still does.
Still plays.
I gave the kid kudos because he watches Family Guy, but you're a sixth grader, but
probably shouldn't be.
But no, one of the more underrated scenes that Family Guy does are the Rocky cutaways. Like the one where Peter tells Rocky he can't punch the meat anymore. And he's like, what about Paulie? He's having sex with the meat. He's like, hey, Rock, I'm poking it. He's like, that's a good one, And then one of my favorite ones is, it's like Rocky 8, and he fights the aliens on Mars, and he got Adrian going, you can't win, Rock. There's no oxygen on Mars. It doesn't mean there's no oxygen for him either. Yeah. I mean, it's the simple shit that makes me laugh so fucking hard.
The one where they did with they have Schwarzenegger, or not Schwarzenegger, but Sylvester Stallone and Tony Danza in the boat in this movie called what? They're just like,
yes.
I'll tell you, my favorite Family Guy stuff is the overdue.
Oh, yeah.
When the Willy Wonka one where he hits his knee and he just keeps... It's like, okay, that's funny. And then it just keeps going. And then the other one with the dead frog.
Yes. The dead frog is one of my favorite
well, you did it
ones.
twice. It's funny. But it's like, okay, we're going to keep going. And then it just like, it loses it. And then it
picks it back up.
It's like... some of these signs like, now, granted, that's why he makes $80 million a year or whatever. But it's like, coming up with that shit.
You took 2 minutes just for this frog scene. And you're right, though. You laughed. Yeah. Then it got to the point where it was like, all right, come on. And then it just got funny again.
Yeah. It was the same thing with the...
Mm-hmm.
Then one of their new ones, they did it doing the falling and hitting your knee bit.
Yeah. With Lois's boob.
Yeah, she did that. But I'm talking like this current season, they did another one of a kid in Africa.
Oh.
And he breathed in, and instead of going, he clicked. It was like, I don't feel like I should be laughing, but it's so funny.
He clicked. That is funny.
I mean, it was... Whew. But that's just the thought process of, I know most of our funny talks that we have are off mic because, they might be a little too much, even though, we'd kind of let it fly on here. But the thought process of those guys of like, I didn't have anything to watch like last week or something like that. So Chappelle Show on HBO or whatever. So I started watching some of those of like, that. And so like the Key and Peele stuff is like just taking a premise and doing that to it.
Oh, I know. The names, how simple is like with the Key and Peele thing with the substitute teacher?
Yeah.
Like something as simple as just mispronouncing names, the traction that it got is just, people still say Aaron. I mean,
the one where they make it like Rambo, the general comes back and he's like, no, we don't want you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll do it then. And he's like, shoot me in the arm. And he just like, he kills the guy. It's like, I caught the bullet You caught the bullet.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's oh God.
Yeah, that's those skit show. I mean, they have their runs, but you don't you'll see people try to do skit. They try to do Saturday Night Live shit. Like you need to do that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
the skit comedy, it's just kind of been done a ton.
Yeah.
With like In Living Color and in Saturday Night Live and what was it? The Wayans brothers did their skit show, which was funny. I mean, just like it's been done, but like the Key and Peele stuff where they just make up their own shit.
Yeah, and it's because like Saturday Night Live's terrible.
Now, yeah.
I mean, it's just terrible because they don't like the successful shows that do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put it into it and like they record it and make sure it's good.
Yeah,
and then they put it out.
Yeah,
instead of like, well, let's try this live. Okay, well, it didn't land.
It's not funny.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not.
Not at all.
Maybe you should have been canceled years ago. Kind of like after probably like middle of the early 2000s. Yeah, they were like talking about it.
Yeah,
well, yeah, maybe you should.
I think wasn't Will Ferrell one of the last not originals, but one of the main guys to stay on there, and then
late
he left.
90s.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then but he was like one of the main ones who was still on there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, yeah, I hated working there.
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Seems like everybody that leaves there hated it, and your also ratings suck.
Mm-hmm.
So. But yeah, that's the skits and Family Guy is still 20 years, 18 years. South Park too.
Yeah.
I mean, I got off of South Park for a while and then watched like the new season or whatever from last year or whatever it was.
Funny.
Still got a fastball.
Yep.
Still got a fastball. Speaking of fastballs, how about that for a professional transition?
That's a good professional transition. Star swipe.
Talking about baseball, folks, go ahead and shut the podcast off. The Tony La Russa shit, did you see that?
He was something about
pissed off at his player for swinging on a 3-0 pitch and hitting a home run.
Yeah. But wasn't pissed off for throwing at somebody, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's the 0-1. It's a 3-0 pitch. It was the ninth inning. They were up like 14-4.
Yeah.
And the guy pitching was a position player.
Yeah,
he wasn't a pitcher, and the guy hits a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie, by the way, 28-year-old rookie.
Yeah.
Of just trying to get in the majors.
Just trying to leave a mark.
And La Russa just buries the guy of so what? So when I come to arbitration or I need a new contract, say if that one at bat, if you just want me to make an out here, takes me to $299 instead of batting 300, you're going to take millions of dollars off that contract.
For sure.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
That's a professional team over there, and they put an infielder in.
Yeah.
To pitch. They gave
hitting
up.
A ball.
I'm going to hit the fuck out of this thing because this is a stats-driven sport that is directly tied to my pay scale.
For sure. And I'm 28. I may not get another chance.
Yeah. And I'm getting shit.
Yeah.
From a coach that's probably going to be a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
But also, his two most successful teams were surrounded in steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go, Tony. You didn't give a shit about the game when you were walking by them fucking lockers and seeing fucking horse cum dripping off the fucking shelf. I mean, no shit's given there, but you better not swing 3-0.
I understand the premise of not swinging 3-0.
Yeah,
but
they're also professionals.
Yeah, what's the fucking matter? The guy, I would say you want to swing on a 3-0 pitch because he's not going to purposely throw a ball the next fucking pitch. You know what I mean? I look at it the opposite way. You're up in the count, don't swing. Well, this fucker's probably going to try to get back into the count.
Yeah.
Because I understand he was a position player, but I'm just talking about in general. Maybe swing at that next one. It's probably going to be a pretty goddamn good pitch.
Yeah, well, and the main thing is that pitch isn't swung at because the next pitch, the 3-1 pitch is going to be a good one too.
Yeah.
Hey, if they walk, you're on base.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's in a tight, if it's obviously fucking position player wouldn't be pitching, but if it was 4-4 in the bottom of the ninth and you're 3-0, you're probably not swinging at that pitch because you need a base runner.
I understand that but
that's not the scenario we're in.
No, and I understand that scenario if it's a big time scenario, but to me it's like, well, let the guy fucking hit.
And there's no way in baseball, because it's contract wise. Just I know theirs are all guaranteed. Football's not.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't tell me that guy doesn't have an escalator in his contract.
Yeah.
That if he hits 20 home runs, he gets another $1 million or 500,000, whatever it is on his rookie
some incentive,
deal.
Yeah.
What if he hit 19?
Yeah. And that was
the one that got it.
Yeah.
That's like the baseball sucks. And it's the only reason we ever talk about it is because of stupid shit.
Yeah.
And this is why nobody likes your game.
Yeah. Plus, it's like the 39th no hitter I've seen this year.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other. And I love Trevor Bauer.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's saying this shit.
Yeah.
And he's a pitcher.
Yeah, I know he is.
He goes, "Hey, guy hits a home run on you and celebrates. You got to stop hitting him with the ball the next time."
Yeah, I know.
Let's have some fun out here.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
That's the other thing of like, if a pitcher strikes a guy out and is pounding his chest on the way to the dugout, the other pitcher doesn't fucking hit him.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time, so you're allowed to celebrate, but we're not allowed to celebrate.
It doesn't make it's. Oh God!
It all comes down to you got to let him do steroids.
Yeah. Swing that back in there. I like it.
Yeah, it's just the fucking baseball.
It's
just can't get out of their own way.
No. And it's just so sucky.
And that's the other thing. And well, if you listen to McAfee or whatever, he's been talking about hockey.
Yeah.
A lot of it. And he's got a point of they're in the midst of the playoffs and it sounds like they're good games. And I couldn't fucking tell you where to watch that shit.
Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't. They're in the playoffs. And in my Twitter feed, I follow a lot of sports things.
Yeah.
They're all talking baseball that nobody gives a shit about. There's not one thing of hockey that ever finds my feed.
Nope.
And I think it's a lot of it because NHL, I think Pat had said that the NHL locks up their highlights and that, if you tweet a highlight, they rip it down. I mean, it's like, well, for sure, let people know that you exist.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We live in a state that has a team that can make the playoffs from time to time, but they're not going to win.
No, I feel like hockey should be more liked because it's in a way in its own, it's kind of like football and skates.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I understand nothing about hockey other than that puck's got to go through the goal.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to fight.
Yeah.
Until you go to the ground.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. They let you fight. Be cool.
Like the fucking game a couple weeks ago where 10 seconds into the game.
Hockey?
You didn't. Oh, you didn't. I think it was the Rangers and Washington.
Because
the way the scheduling's worked with the whole COVID thing, you end up playing teams almost like back to back.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to
get them in.
Well, the guy from Washington, like fucking took his stick and ran another guy's head into the ground.
Oh, cool.
And in hockey, you don't get suspended for that. You get fined $5,000 because that's like the max.
Oh, nice.
Or $7,000. Something stupid. It was nothing. Well, now the next night they got to play the Rangers again.
Oh.
And it was kind of like, well, this guy's
getting him back.
We got to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like they dropped the puck and instantly started fighting. 6 fights in the first 7 minutes.
That's awesome.
To the point where they were out of seats in the penalty box.
Nice.
Like guys were having to stand up in there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it was just like, then they come out, let's go at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just had to do it. But the bad thing is the Rangers had to do that to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they lost most of the fights and they got beat in the game. So it's like, well,
probably stop
I understand what you had to do.
Uh-huh.
And the other guys on the other team get it to, hey, he's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
He fucked you over.
Yep.
We get it.
Yeah.
This is hockey.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes.
But nobody knows they exist.
No.
Kind of like soccer here anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to consider myself a sports fan, but I know very little about other sports other than football and basketball and
I'll watch some soccer from time to time, like the Premier League and stuff. Guys that actually know how to play.
Yeah.
Not the guys in this country.
Yeah, I will. I watch the Olympics soccer. That's about as
World Cup. Yeah.
Whatever that. Yeah, World Cup, not Olympic soccer, but
Well, they have soccer in the Olympics.
Maybe
but
I
nobody
watched
gives
that
a
too.
fuck. I mean, it's the World Cup is where it's
okay.
at.
Then I watched that. Then
We just suck at it. And that's the only reason it's not popular in this country is because we're not any good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it too, one of the reasons hockey's not popular in this country is because most of the people aren't from this country that play it. Because we're just not that.
Yeah.
Which
Canadian.
I mean, where we live, if you was a diehard hockey, I mean, you got to drive like an hour to even
to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, that's not happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, baseball, hockey, Family Guy, fucking hell of a show. The hell of a show.
We'll just go into the next one. Did you see the pairings they put this week in the golf? Who they paired together?
I did not.
Holy shit. It's like star. There's like 5 groups of just star-studded people. Like one of the groups is Spieth.
It's a PGA Championship, isn't it?
Spieth, Zalatoris. Is there a Thompson? Is that I don't know. But and then like another one was
Justin Thomas.
One of them was
Sorry for the delay. I wasn't thinking. I was actually taking a drink.
Yeah.
Some scissorp.
One of them was Koepka, Rory, and like DJ, and like I was like, holy shit, they're just pairing a lot of these guys together. Well, now I know a lot of the big name guys aren't doing as well as they have been, or
well, and it's one of those things too of like they do this because like the PGA Championship it's a major, but it's also a major that like it's like nobody gives a fuck about it. I mean, they just don't. I mean, it's awesome when they win because it comes with all the hey, you won a major.
Yeah, exactly.
But as far as fans go, it's like okay, yeah, all right, because it's it's not at Augusta. And it's not a U.S. Open of like, oh, my God, this guy might shoot 85 today. It's at a golf course kind of like they normally play it of like, all right, well, this guy was 20 under, so.
Yeah. Here is the 5 of the groups that it's Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, and Koepka, Morikawa, DeChambeau, and Matsuyama, Fleetwood, Rahm, and Reed, Zalatoris, Simpson, and Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Shane Lowry, and Sergio Garcia.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what they're doing. Unfortunately, like one of those days, nobody will see them because, you flip. They go early pairing, late pairing.
Yeah.
That's one thing of like how low level the PGA Championship is like until today, I didn't even know it was happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first I seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, well, not pushing that very well either.
But I just thought it was weird. I mean, I know why they did it to get more people to probably watch it, but just cool to see all those guys golf together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like
top of the line.
When I do like FanDuel, I am just a slut for the big name golfers because I don't know any of the other lower name golfers.
That's the only way you have to go.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, look at all these guys,
That's why it didn't shock me when we did the Masters thing that George won.
Yeah, because I think
he watches it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, all right, well, I've never even when he had Zalatoris, I'm like, I've never even fucking heard of this guy before.
Either. Yeah, and he's got him in there. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to win that one because I said, I spend 4 slots with like the top 4 money goes, and then the next
like,
2 are
I got $5,000 per player left. I better go down to see which one of these guys is going to make the cut.
Yep, that's my goal.
I might pick this amateur. One of them usually makes the cut. He'll get some points.
Yeah, that's the way I like to do it, but sometimes it works.
The
sometimes
same way
it
I
doesn't.
do it in football too. It's like, hey, let's calm down on spending $15,000 on a running back.
Yeah. Fuck
Man,
you,
I
Nick
feel
Chubb,
like you
be
just
cheaper.
Pick somebody up, playing against like the Bengals or something.
Yeah.
I did have success one year doing that. Of like, I can't remember who it might have been. When the Saints, this is years ago, when the Saints defense was fucking garbage. Is I just picked whatever running back was playing against the Saints.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was all go. Not a lot going on in the football world. Well, players are going back in.
Yep.
And I think it was the most everybody knew that was going to happen. I don't know when they thought they were going to fucking boycott that.
Yeah. And then I know that my team is kind of like on like the hot seat a little bit, because they've had 2 players now get hurt out of the facility. One, they were trying to trade before they cut him. They cut him because he was hurt because they couldn't trade him because he tore his ACL. And then the tackle they cut and aren't paying him, that money that he would have gotten if he would have gotten hurt on the facility.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's, probably sue your union before you sue the club, because that's what the union, they told you not to do that.
And it's, that's one of those things. That's why it was never going to work, because that's in everybody's contract.
Yeah.
And I would say in any other year, if this wasn't happening, that Denver would have paid the fucking guy.
Yeah.
But I got to assume that a lot of owners got to talk and go, yeah, if you don't want him on your team, go ahead and cut him, just because we need to flex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, do it. But, you get her. I mean, that's such a weird thing of so now you expect every guy to live in your city. Like everybody needs to live in Green Bay all year round or you can't work out.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of a, come on. But, that's, hey,
yeah,
the NFL has all the leverage.
Yep.
They write the checks. You have to not show up and be willing to not get money anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's, like the injured thing, it's the same thing when people sit. Like, I compare it to that. I know it's not the same thing, but the guy who Denver cut has played 6 games in 3 years because of his injuries already.
Yeah, he was going to be a healthy cut.
Oh, for sure. Because
you're just not allowed to cut him when they're injured.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as he came back and was okay,
he was
like,
being cut.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't anything but it's the same thing when people sit. Like, they don't pay you when you sit.
No.
It's the same. I look at it the same way. It probably isn't the same thing, but that's just the way that I compare the two things.
Right.
You're choosing not to come in. It's the same thing as kind of sitting.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay you.
Well, that's the thing, too, of with the OTAs, so many guys have it in their contract to get bonuses for showing up to off-season work. Well, if they're voluntary and you're pissed you have to go there, don't sign that fucking contract that says, hey, we'll give you an extra $200,000 if you show up in the off-season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to show up.
Okay.
Well, we'll need to rework this contract.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
But you signed this contract, and I'm not going to give you that $200,000.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. It's like all of these guys showed up. Well, yeah, they want their money. I mean.
When I think they had a legit talk, but the whole boycott thing or whatever, the NFLPA is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can't.
That guy works for the NFL.
Yeah. Then what are you going to do? Because the guys that cannot show up are Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy's still trying to make the fucking team.
43 guys on the roster that kind of fucking have to be there.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
they're not getting paid. They'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
That's a lot of guys that didn't get drafted.
Yeah. And that's what makes the NFL such a prestigious organization, in my opinion, because, you have to do those things. It's a privilege to be on the team, show up and work out for the team, man. It's not everybody gets fucking drafted. No. People spend however many of their lives just trying to make a team, make a practice squad.
Adam Thielen had to pay to work out.
Yes. Yeah.
Just to get a look.
Yeah. So, I mean,
turned out okay.
Turned out just fine.
And there's guys that fall through the cracks like that all the time looking to take your job. And this isn't to shit on players for that.
No.
I think they had an argument of what they wanted to do. They just kind of shitbagged it the way they did it. They wanted to do the ramp up like they did last year because they said their bodies felt better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can have a civil conversation about that of hey, let's not show up and then take this many weeks off and then show up to full practice again. And let's be honest, OTAs are basically full contact practice now. Yeah. They just don't have pads on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but that's what it is. They just wanted to say, hey, why don't you just bump it back a few weeks and let's
dive right into
OTAs right into training camp.
Mm-hmm. Which seemed like it would have been okay to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody who's like, nah, it's a stupid idea.
Yeah, I mean, the coaches are.
Yeah.
Because they, they want to control your life. Because that's what they're coaches. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah. They're assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never met a bigger asshole than a fucking football coach. All the time.
For sure. It's a fun job. Imagine getting an extra $200,000 just to go lift weights and run on a field.
Yeah. For 7 days.
For 7 days. That's the thing. It's like you're not going there the whole fucking summer. No. You're there for a week. 10 days. I think 10 days is like the max if you're a rookie because you're there and then you're there with the team.
Well, and then you have the argument, too. They're like, hey, you need to boycott the facility because we're all doing that. But then you have multiple guys that are like, hey, man, I live in this city, and I use the facility as my workout place.
Yeah, exactly.
5 days a week.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me not to go in to go. I mean, it was.
Imagine like the people that are in LA, like you live there probably year round because it's warm there pretty much all year round. I mean, you know, same thing with Florida.
I mean, you're gonna have your Green Bays and stuff. Like I'm not living here.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. How many Browns players live in Cleveland?
Unless you're from Ohio, probably not. I mean, because it wouldn't be that bad Ohio wise because the months you're off.
Yeah.
Are the nice when it's nice here.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, you travel and stuff like that, and most of them are from Florida. So, yeah, it was just never, I mean.
Never thought it was going to work out. Like, I never thought nobody was going to not show up.
No. That's the other one. Like, well, you think the rookies?
Yeah.
Which, who was it? Oh. Patrick Surtain is like, I haven't earned the right to not show up.
Yeah.
I just got here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even sign my contract yet. You know, he just signed it during OTAs, which that's probably what rookie OTAs are for. They're in the building, we'll negotiate your contract. You sign it while you're here.
Yeah,
you go home.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you can't do anything. And
yes,
like you can't. We need to sign you.
Yeah,
and then the NFLPA is like, all right, go in there, do the walk around, sign that contract, and then tell them to fuck off and walk out. Of like. Well, hey, man, like I feel like I need to learn some of these plays if I'd like to make this team.
For sure.
I mean, the whole go about was just like, it's just never going to work.
Yeah.
And I'm a Tom Brady fan. He came out with whatever it came out when he was giving that speech or whatever on a phone call of like, hey, we got to stay, you got to fight. It's like, but again, man, you're Tom Brady. You have 7 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
You could show up week 1 of the season and be the starter.
Yeah.
And Bruce Arians is going to be like, well, Tom, I wish you'd have showed up, but I am glad you're here now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
you can afford to do that, buddy.
99% of the league can't do that shit.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, that's
why I thought, like, when I put that on Twitter yesterday of the NFL butt fucking the NFLPA, I thought that's kind of what, summed it up nicely.
Yeah.
Of, you got no chance.
No. And for the fact that, like, the NFLPA telling him to do that, especially to, like you said, the people trying to make the roster, the rookies, it's not guaranteed, man. It's not.
Yeah.
And
if you're, like, when the numbers came out, you're in the AFC East, and the Dolphins have 80 guys show up to the facility, are you going to be like, well, we got 7?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, no, then the guys are going to say, well, shit, man, we probably need to work on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, come on.
Yeah.
I did, I did it because they, Joe Burrow being announced that he's going to be on track, which people was like, this is amazing news. It's like, what other news did you expect?
Yeah. He got hurt at really just right the amount of time to get back to week 1.
They didn't say he's going to be there. Did you expect him to say, well, he's had a shit ton of setbacks so far. It's going to be November.
Yeah.
They were never going to say that.
No.
Hey, his rehab's going the way we like to go. It looks like he should be on schedule for week 1.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's going to play, but everyone's like, well, he's back. And I was listening to the guy, his show coming over.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever poll that now, obviously, it's a local poll in Ohio and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was about Joe Burrow leading the Bengals to the Super Bowl, two-way Super Bowl.
Oh.
Like 75% of the votes. Now, I mean, it could be like 8 people voted on. I don't know. 75% said less than 5 years he'll lead into the Super Bowl. It's like, are you?
It's fucking crazy.
Are you fucking nuts?
Yeah.
Like, do you know? Like 88 or 87 last time they even been there. They never won one.
Yeah. It's been 5 years since they've been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was playing so good. Yeah, now granted, they should have won most of those games that he played in, but they didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they also have other players that have to do stuff.
Yeah.
And they did not. Which is also why he didn't finish the season.
Yeah. That's... Oh, man.
But that's fans, man. That's the blind.
Yeah.
And, and it's like I have so many friends that are Browns fans. Now, granted, they have a team now.
They have a team now, yes.
But over the last 20 years, they have not.
Mm-hmm.
And every year it's like, well, with this quarter, I think we can make a run to that.
Yeah.
And they believe that they're going to the Super Bowl.
Wholeheartedly.
Like, I'll give you a chance at the Super Bowl this year, but you're not going.
No.
Because you're not beating Kansas City.
And this is their year that they have to go. If there's a year that they go, this is the last year you have this team together.
Yep.
Because you have to pay a ton of people. A ton of people.
I mean, because this last time you're going to have Odell, and this last year you're going to have Baker before you have to pay him.
Mm-hmm. And
not that he's going to get shit ton money, but
you got to pay Chubb at some point in time.
Better than the average starting quarterback, which I know people would think that you're shitting on Baker Mayfield, but better than average starting quarterback in the NFL is a really good fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
You're not paying him 20.
Nope.
You're paying him 30.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that $10 million difference is Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
That's Jarvis Landry.
Chubb.
That's you know.
Yes.
Hey, we got to pay him, so you got to go.
And the Stefanski system, if you're still running the Stefanski system,
was that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It picked up on the mic.
It was a part. Yeah. And these
like a church.
I scooted my chair up. You pay the running backs over the receivers in his system.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only really a couple systems that you do that with.
Right.
You still have a offensive line to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of pieces to that
Yeah.
you're going to have to pay here soon.
Now, he's made all the right moves in the draft.
For sure.
And they've seemed to have been working out for him.
Mm-hmm.
But if you miss 1 year in the draft, that goes down quickly.
Yep.
But, but the Bengals, I mean, that's the one thing that, the difference of living in the same state.
Mm-hmm.
And two out of, everybody assumes Ohio State's going to win a national championship every year, which is just
asinine.
It was crazy.
There's still Alabama football, guys.
Yeah, still exists.
Still exists.
I mean, it's not like it's easy, even though they've made it look that way. But 2 out of the 3 football teams are expected to win the national championship Super Bowl. And us Bengals fans are just like, I mean, if we can get 500, it'd be awesome.
It'd be great.
Like, if we could split with Pittsburgh and Baltimore, because I never gave a shit about Cleveland.
Yeah.
But if you could split with Pittsburgh and Baltimore, that's a good fucking year.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's always a weird thing is we'd split with the Steelers, but we'd win at Pittsburgh and they'd win at Cincinnati. Nobody won the home game.
Yeah, exactly.
But hot seat wise for your team, is it came out today is they also might be in more hot seat if this story has any traction.
You're right. With Aaron Rodgers and Elway golfing together?
Yeah. Even though your buddies, you're not allowed to do that, especially right now with the trade rumor talk about going there. You can't do that.
Yep.
And the NFL will smoke your ass for that.
Oh, yeah.
That is just,
you can't do that. No.
Because that
would, talking about.
Because then every team would hire their Hall of Famer or whatever to be on their staff and then just go play some golf with this guy. This is a situation where if that's true, Elway's going to get, and the Broncos are going to get smacked. They're going to lose some draft picks.
For sure.
Because you have to.
Yeah, you have to discipline.
Hey, I understand you guys are friends, football, quarterback community. I get it.
Yeah.
But hey, man, you're in a high position of a team that's rumored to want to trade for him.
Mm-hmm.
Not happening.
Yeah. See, when I first heard it, I instantly thought that, one, they probably weren't playing golf together. They were probably at the same goddamn golf course.
Which is fine.
That instantly, but then everybody instantly just assumes that they were playing golf together. If you see two,
right?
You know what I mean? With the connection that's already rumored anyway.
Yeah.
But that was just my first thought. I can't imagine Elway being that stupid, because he hasn't, as a front office guy in that scenario. And that, now I'm not saying his decisions have been dumb, but that I think he's more of a professional in that aspect of it than some of the other things he's done. I don't think he's that fucking stupid. Let's go call him up. Hey, you want to go play a round of 18 together? I don't think he's that fucking dumb.
I mean, but if they were, if it was a charity event and they were paired together, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But because that was, you got to remember the just wasn't too long ago when it looked like the shit might hit the fan over the Stafford thing that he happened to be in Mexico at a resort.
Yes, with McVay.
Yeah, like, hey, what's going on here, fellas?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's that. I think it'll get blown under the rug. I mean, I don't think anything's going to come up.
And it's not even known that it's true.
No, it's just.
I don't know that they've proven that he even played golf at the place.
The second tier beat writers for the Broncos are the ones who reported it.
Right.
Not even like the main newspaper that's for the Broncos. You know what I mean? So who knows? I mean, that could just be something to try to get clicks or, you know what I mean? Who knows? They were spotted at the same golf course together. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. But if it's, I'm sure the NFL is looking into it. I'm sure they've both gotten phone calls.
Yes. I will say this. If a trade does happen to where he's on the team, you're going to see something come up of it.
Yeah.
If nothing happens between the two parties, then you're not going to see anything happen about it. That's the way I thought about it. I think it's the same scenario with the Sean McVay thing or whatever.
Yeah.
The deal was kind of already in place. The deal was already done.
Yeah.
They just, the next week they were at
the difference being is McVay's not the guy, like he has say-so, but he's not the guy that pulls that trigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Elway's kind of the guy that pulls that trigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's kind of the guy.
Yeah.
Even though he's not the GM, he's a GM's boss.
Pretty much. So,
fired himself into a promotion. I mean,
that's what he does, man.
Him and Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
That was still my favorite thing of like, all right, well, you're a shitty coach.
Yeah.
We're going to fire you and give you, you're a shitty coach. We're going to let you keep coaching and be the GM.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to fire you for being a shitty GM, make you team president. Of like, hey, what
are we doing?
Maybe just fire the guy.
Yeah.
I got to ask, did you watch McAfee yesterday? They had that coach from last
I saw
Chance
the
U.
clips on there.
That guy, I've never watched the show.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I might watch his seasons because he is awesome. I mean,
he is something else.
Just and I mean, I don't know if he's worth a shit as a coach or anything, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's just the type of human that he is. It's like, boy, he's entertaining.
Oh, he's super entertaining. Super entertaining. The one thing that he hit on the head, though, was it's a recyclable community.
Oh, the college football coaches thing?
He hit that right on the fucking head. He really did. I mean,
that's what it is.
It's all it is.
And nobody even thinks about it, but when he says that, they paid Gus Malzahn $22 million to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And he instantly got a coaching job.
Yep.
Instantly.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
No. And then then they spend this much money to hire a firm to tell you who to hire that got fired from their last job for not being any good.
Yeah.
Because very rarely Ohio State gets Urban Meyer because Urban Meyer left Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, working at ESPN. He didn't get fired. Alabama lucked in and got Nick Saban because Nick Saban was a shitty coach in the NFL.
Horrible.
And that really came out of like listening to hear some players talk about Nick Saban in the NFL of like Nick Saban almost got his ass kicked by his players of like, hey, we're fucking grown men here.
Yeah, exactly. Quit treating us like college players.
Maybe get back to college because this ain't your shit. But it's not, it's not like Michigan gets Jim Harbaugh. It's not like shit wasn't going well in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Basically, you got to hire him because it came out that he was such an asshole that they just couldn't handle it anymore.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You're never hiring guys in a good situation.
No.
You make your new hire from a guy that takes a mid-level team to 8 wins.
Yep.
And then he gets you to 9 wins, and then you fire him. And since he had a Power 5 job, he now only gets Power 5 jobs.
That's pretty much the way it goes.
Because the next one is when Ed Orgeron gets fired after next year.
Yep.
Because he's getting fired after next because he's not a good coach.
No, he's not. He lucked into that spot.
He's a good coach. He's not a good head coach.
Yeah.
You had Joe Burrow and a shit ton of talent and Joe Brady.
Which that's been LSU's problem for forever.
Yeah.
They have a ton of fucking talent. They just don't have a goddamn quarterback.
Could you imagine? Think of this thing I like to think about. If Nick Saban never went to Miami and stayed at LSU, what LSU would be right now?
Oh, I know.
Because I know Alabama, it took them a bit of time to get that talent level at Alabama.
Yeah.
And LSU just fucking always has it.
Yeah.
They'll win 3 games and put 15 guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a wonderful point. And, my point with LSU is take away the Joe Burrow season. The last time that they won the national championship game was against Ohio State.
Yeah. That shouldn't even have been in the game.
No, the premier player that they were talking about was the defensive tackle. It was Glenn Dorsey.
Yeah.
They weren't even talking about the fucking quarterback.
No.
That wasn't even brought up. You were interviewing a defensive tackle because, don't get me wrong, he's a fucking stud, but come on, guys. You're in the national championship game and we're not even talking about the quarterback?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, that was the one thing that still gets me, Ohio State playing them. They're like, well, Ohio State lost back-to-back national championships. Well, the one to Florida, I'll give you, because Ohio State was the team that should have been in there.
Yeah.
And actually, if it wasn't for Pat McAfee, Ohio State probably would have won a national championship because he missed some kicks there and got beat because they would have been in the national championship game instead of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure Ohio State probably handles West Virginia.
Probably.
But then, the next year against LSU was just Ohio State was ranked 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
And then didn't play. And were ranked number 1 of
how the hell did that happen?
Yeah. They had Todd Beckman.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we're not, we're okay having one loss, maybe go win at Rose Bowl. This isn't,
No.
Well, and that was another one. Because I think USC got beat by UCLA.
Yeah.
Ohio State probably could have beat USC, but they couldn't beat LSU.
Yeah.
It's so if a couple things happened, they could have had a couple.
But yeah, that's been LSU's problem for years now. Is they can't recruit a quarterback to go along with all their fucking pieces.
Which is just weird.
Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham were on the same college football team. Zach Mettenberger was the quarterback.
Couldn't get him the ball.
Guys
have been dominant in the league since they got there.
Mm-hmm.
How many years did Jarvis Landry lead the league in catches?
5?
In Miami.
5 or 6.
In Miami, it was dog shit.
They just threw it to him all the time because he was that fucking good.
LSU can't do it. In college. Against kids that aren't going to play.
No. Yeah.
No, LSU, I don't. Now it's tough to get a guy to go there, against Nick Saban, but now would be the time to go because Saban's got few years left or whatever his timetable is. But you imagine you take a Ryan Day and his offensive and put him in LSU in the way he recruits of are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Because for some reason Louisiana pumps him out.
Yep.
Louisiana kind of has that thing about where's that the whatever square mileage of Florida that has ungodly amounts of NFL players.
Yep.
Louisiana's kind of that way too.
Yeah.
And they all want to play at LSU.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's weird that they're that talented and that they just to win.
Yeah.
And nobody ever talks about that.
No.
They never talk about that. It's never this is the first we talk about it because it's I don't know if we just have a more of a sit back and look kind of perspective on it, but
fans of them. I mean, it's just
no. We shit on Ohio State too. We're fans of them. I mean,
fans of them.
Yeah, it's just
pretty
weird.
sure we both decided there was no chance they were beating Alabama.
No,
now you still had some hope being a fan.
I picked them to lose to Clemson. What do I know?
Yeah, so did I. By 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the one thing too. I'm interested in the Clemson side of things of where it goes from here.
Me too.
Because the recruiting, obviously, it's all about recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
College football is 100% recruiting.
Yep.
I mean, you got to be able to coach some stuff, as we've talked about with the LSU thing. You got to have something.
Mm-hmm.
But with Clemson, I mean, it just seems like every time something comes out about Clemson, it's because Dabo does something fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Of are you going to get some fall off? I mean, what,
Dabo, to me, everybody wants to put him in the top 5 coaches right now, and he's earned it.
Yeah.
Got national championships. Nick Saban is above everybody because he shuts the fuck up.
And it's It's not even close.
Not even close. Take away all of the success they had on the season, he shuts the fuck up. You don't hear him take shots at anybody. You don't hear him badmouth anybody. You don't hear him say negative things about other coaches, other teams, anything. You have him talk about his team and the way that his staff does things.
Yeah.
That's why he's fantastic.
I'll tell you another reason,
mm-hmm.
and it involves LSU. Years ago, the year they played each other in the national championship game.
Yeah.
The earlier game in the season, Nick Saban beat them 9-6.
Yeah, I know. I watched that game. It was awful.
Because that's a Nick Saban team.
Mm-hmm.
And now they run it, spread it, and score at fucking will. Because that's what the game is now.
Mm-hmm.
He adjusted.
Yep.
The reason why, any Michigan fans out, the reason Michigan's going to suck is because your coach refuses to adjust to what the game is.
Yep.
And run the same shit that just doesn't work anymore.
Mm-mm.
Is it going to work? Yeah. It's an NFL offense. It's going to work. Probably going to get you 28 points.
It's not
but
enough.
when the other team scores fucking 50, that's college football.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. I mean,
you get a play caller that can look at your bullshit defense that you got over there because you can't install that kind of defense in college.
Yeah.
And any coordinator that has anything, that's why they all have the look at me.
Yep.
Of like, well, we're going to torch him for 60 here because there's just nothing they can do.
Yep.
That's why Nick Saban's so good.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%. He's adjusted to the times.
Yeah. And other coaches just don't.
No. And, you want to talk about, Ryan Day did. Ryan Day grew up in the already adjusted times.
Yeah.
He wasn't a guy in the fullback ISO kind of, you know what I mean? He might have been coaching, but he wasn't in charge of things when that stuff was still.
Yeah.
He was brought in by Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly was the first one who did all that shit. So he was already kind of brought up with that type of things. Now you can say Dabo Swinney was kind of the same way. He kind of was starting to get his run when it was transitioning into the spread and things like that. But, you look at him, and then another one that I always point out who's not as successful, national title-wise is Mac Brown is the one who adjusted probably the biggest just based on age. You have a lot of those old coaches who had success with one thing, and they don't like to evolve. Now he had Vince Young, and you kind of did a little bit of the spread stuff just because that's who you had. But
yeah, and that was kind of before the spread was a thing.
Exactly. But he goes to North Carolina, and they've had their best 3 seasons in their program history because he adjusted to the times.
That'd be the interesting thing this year, because we started out with Dabo.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get 3 national championships?
I think so.
Or 2?
2.
And then you got to step back and look because we got to see what this next kid is. You had Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence.
And they each won.
Yeah. So now let's step back because now we got to see what this next guy can do. Because that's the next thing of because you've had 2 probably, one successful NFL quarterback and one that
could be,
but his team, But it's one of those ones of you had the guy.
Mm-hmm. You have 2.
Now you have to see what's like Alabama. Every time one guy goes out, it's like,
we have one guy.
Shit, Mac Jones seems better than Tua. Mm-hmm. And then, it's always that.
Yep, the revolving door of people. And I think that's, and I don't know if everybody wants to talk about culture and all that stuff, but, Dabo Swinney, like you said, had Deshaun Watson, had Trevor Lawrence for 4 years, 3 years. And you only have 2? Yeah. Now, I know you've been there, and you run through the buzzsaw of Alabama. I get that. But, are you a good coach?
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, because you've had these guys, it's the same argument that we make with Green Bay. You have Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. You only have 2 Super Bowls. Are you really the premier?
Well, and that's the thing, too, of because Alabama always gets it done. Mm-hmm. Now, Clemson had their 2 stud quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But those years they won, you got to remember they had defensive linemen drafted in the first round of, boy, that makes a difference. Like Ohio State. Boy, when Bosa and Chase Young and the other, boy, that makes a difference on that quarterback.
Yeah, well, it does.
Because I think what Ryan Day did was you have NFL players on that defense. but I just showed you that we can expose and you have the most complicated college defense in the country.
Yes, you do.
And we expose the shit out of it. So we just showed everybody that
how to do it. Yeah.
It's the most difficult in college, but I'm a guy from the NFL, and that ain't shit.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
nothing. I mean, it's high school defense. So the little blueprint gets shown of your defense doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, let's see how it
now.
changes.
Granted, that changes. You get a Chase Young in there that he keeps hitting my quarterback I mean, that's different.
Yeah. And I honestly watching that game compared to the game, the previous year's game between Ohio State and Clemson, it honestly might have helped them that they didn't have a premier pass rusher in that game this year.
Yeah.
Because everybody was getting one-on-ones. They weren't spending the extra time to block your stud.
Right.
Everybody had one-on-ones. The interior guys had one-on-ones. The outside guys had one. You know what I mean? So maybe it helped them, maybe it didn't, but it's a lot easier to do one-on-ones against people than having a chip block or anything like that. So,
There's a weird thing thinking, too, like on the Ohio State side of it, because obviously, the place that I'll go once in a while and listen to people talk, and they shit on Ryan Day. He's just never going to win the big game. Never going to go. Like, the guy's lost 2 games, one to Clemson and one to Alabama, one in the semifinals and one in the finals. What the fuck? He's been the coach for 2 years.
Yeah, I know. He's never going to win.
I wonder the shit that he's going to catch when he doesn't win this, because they're not winning the national championship this year. They're just not.
They're not.
And they're going to be like, well, do we need to fire him? I mean, it's like, what?
Exactly, yeah. People are idiots.
I mean, I guess they could, but I don't.
Which is one of the main reasons why I just hate our fan base.
The expectation level is just like,
it's ridiculous.
Hard. I mean, Nick Saban kind of screwed it for everybody because half the years he's been at Alabama, he's won a national championship or whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, come on now.
That doesn't happen.
You also have to play the guy that's doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And, I can't stand to watch games in public with the...
Oh, terrible.
I mean, it's just like, if they don't score every fucking play, they suck. They should have done this, that. Everybody's a fucking coach when they fucking don't score. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys.
Yeah. Well, it's the one thing that I enjoy about Ryan Day. Now, I mean, granted, he hadn't had it happen yet of like, Urban Meyer won a national championship, but then you had 2 years in a row when you got your ass stomped by teams that is just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And I know we had talked about that in the show at some point in time, that's why I honestly feel Ryan Day is a better coach in that scenario because he made the adjustments before it was too late.
Yeah.
He changes shit almost instantly to win their fuck ups. He doesn't wait until halftime to go in and talk about it. He just goes ahead and does it because we can't get down to scores. We can't change anything.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's the thing. Like the 2 shitty games that they had that cost Justin Fields, 10 spots in the draft or 8 spots, whatever. Those games were still never in doubt. They were always going to win those games. 100%. I mean, it was never.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now the last year, the having to throw 7 touchdowns to beat Maryland of like, hey, what are we doing? Hey, this kid's touched the ball 3 times and ran for 80-yard touchdowns. Maybe.
Yeah.
Think about
stopping
something
that guy.
To do with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing is Ohio State's defense now everybody's defense in college. You're just giving up points.
Mm-hmm. You are.
It's just there's nothing you can do about it.
You just have to slow them down.
Yeah.
You're never going to stop them. You just have to slow them down to make them keep snapping the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Cannot have those big plays, the 80, 60-plus yard plays. You just can't have that.
Yeah, what you need on what college defense is now is a stud pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a stud pass rusher, a first-round corner, and a first-round safety, you're the best defense in college.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
The one thing like Ohio State does is like you're not going to run on them for the most part, but you can pass the shit at it, but you can pass against
a lot of people.
You start seeing these college teams running motion like that, well, that's a defense killer.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, especially in college.
Why do you think they do it in the NFL so much? Well, we ran a defense. That safety did this, so we know where he's going. That's it.
Yep.
Man, it's like I am getting a little more for college football. I think we talked last week or whatever. It's like, they had nothing for it. But it's like starting to think through it. And I think the weird thing is being an Ohio State fan is because, like, the Stroud kid, I know nothing about him.
Me either.
Like, you knew, like, when Justin Fields trained, like, you knew who Justin Fields was. You know, like, you knew that was coming.
Yep.
Even with Haskins, when he was behind Barrett last year, of like, but they got this kid that's supposed to be.
Yeah,
and he was. He set all the records. I mean,
exactly.
That's a weird one, too, of, like, how him not being successful in Washington somehow tarnishes his collegiate career.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand that, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like the Stroud kid is like, I know zero about. I know they have 97 quarterbacks down there, but apparently this is the best of them. I don't know.
I don't know either. That'll be fun this year for Ohio State fans, just to see. I think this would be the year that you see how good Ryan Day is.
Yeah,
because you don't have
Justin Fields.
You don't have Justin Fields. So let's see if your offense is good. Let's see how good of a coach you really are.
Yeah,
and I think you're going to get. That would be really the backlash that the only backlash I see out of him is, can you develop a quarterback, or are you just wanting to get one that already are good?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a Justin Fields. Are you going to play the recruiting game now, or are you actually or the transfer game, or are you actually going to play the recruiting game?
Right. I think they said that. I was listening to a guy talk that he was, I don't know if he's one of those quarterback guru type guys, but he was saying that because obviously high school football in Texas might as well be college football in Texas.
Much, yeah.
And they get all these highly recruited guys out of Texas, and they do jack shit in college.
Yeah.
He says because they are so well coached in high school that you watch their film and you think, hey, we get them in here, we can make them better. And you can't because they're kind of already maxed out as far as where, granted, it's different when they get to the NFL because that's your job.
Yep.
But in college, you can tell them when to lift, when to eat and stuff, but you're only allowed to coach so much.
Yeah.
Of that. That's why you see a lot of those Texas guys just not make it because they've already been coached up.
Yeah. A friend of mine has a relative who coaches football in Texas. He was the offensive coordinator, I believe, if I remember correctly, and makes over $100,000 just as
an OC,
just as a coordinator.
High school.
The high school.
Yeah.
Doesn't teach.
That's awesome. Can I be the water boy?
Yeah, I know. That's awesome. Isn't that cool?
Everybody else is moving to Texas, it seems like.
Seems like it. But yeah, wouldn't that be, I mean, that's how serious they fucking take it.
But then again, you get shit canned tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, your quarterback threw 3 interceptions. Get out.
Well, I think,
I know
it's a movie, but it's kind of based off of a real school, the Friday Night Lights thing,
Huge.
How like Billy Bob Thornton or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's getting, they lose a game and he's like, you get the fucking athletic director, you have the president, and you have all these alumni guys. Like, can you get it done this year?
I think I'd looked it up, but like that coin flip thing was a real fucking thing of like, hey, you two are tied and we don't know who's making the playoffs, so we're going to show up at this location. We're going to flip fucking coin.
Isn't that wild?
That is crazy, especially like when you look at it of the, hey, if you lose one game, we might fire you.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Now here's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Call it.
Yep. This is fucking wild, man. Well, I remember watching it as a kid and being like, coin flip? Like, really? Like, that's...
Yeah. Because I thought that was, hey, there's the Hollywood portion of it. And then you look into it, it's like, no, that's how they did it.
That's how they did it, man. There was no point systems. It was based off a record, and yeah.
I mean, it's awesome because college has that way, but high school football, I remember going, when Ben Mock was a senior, obviously he set all the national records for passing and everything. And they're watching their high school games, like when they're on their playoff run, was just, packed stadiums. It's high school football, it's like, damn, it's awesome. But then you just, kind of dies off. You don't see it around here all that often.
I know it.
But you also only had 2 of them that made national. I think his brother still owns most of the records, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He kind of dicked his career up. But,
a little bit.
And hey, that is what it is.
It is what it is.
But I'm kind of looking forward to college football now, even though it's not even June yet.
I am. I really am.
It's tough to get pumped. I think what a lot of it is where it struggles, obviously, Ohio State fans.
Yeah.
Is the gap is so big with the Big Ten of like, man, it's tough to like. I want Ohio State to win every game, but it's like, well, it's 28-0, 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you know, kind of how Alabama gets most time, where they're like begging the fans, "Hey, please don't leave at halftime."
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Can you maybe just support the team? Of like, man, this is kind of tough.
And I just that's where that people who live in this state and hate Ohio State are just as bad as the people who live in the state and love Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know, they love them too much, and these people hate them way too much. My wife's family hates Ohio State.
Yeah.
Hates Ohio State with all of their might because of pretty much the idiot fans.
Yeah.
But I hear it every fucking year. Are they going to play anybody this week? Like, well, they're just fucking that much better than everybody
It's
that
their
they fucking
conference.
play.
There's 3 teams in college football.
Yes.
There's one team. There's one, and then like the next 2 are pretty close.
Yeah.
And then there's just nobody else.
And I'm like, everybody schedules these fucking cupcake teams. Like, they just don't get it because they don't watch it enough or care really enough to. They just like to say shit. But you know what I mean? But it's the same. It's like, you know, everybody plays cupcake teams. Everybody plays their conference. It's not. They can't help it.
Yeah, you can't.
They can't help it.
And that's what sucks because every conference had powerhouses. Well, now they just don't. I mean, I don't want to shit on the SEC. I think one of your buddies is a fan of the SEC team or something like that.
Yes.
But they don't have anybody. They're the greatest. I'm not.
Yes,
they're the best
They're
conference.
The best conference
it's
by
the best
far.
conference.
By far.
You had Joe Burrow, but at the end of the day, you don't have any teams in that league that can do anything because you have Alabama. So it just, there's nothing there.
Everything runs through them.
There's nothing there.
Everything runs through them.
It's a tough to go undefeated in that. It's tough to go undefeated in any conference. Let's just be honest, because it's football and they're kids.
Yeah.
But you can't tout that Alabama plays this tough ass schedule because the other teams in your conference are dog shit.
Yeah.
Well, they going out and they beat teams in the Big Ten. Yeah, the Big Ten teams are dog shit too.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not sticking up for them. Let's just not act like you're at the same level you were in the 2006 to 12 range.
Yeah, where you
before
guys
Alabama just started dominating everything.
Because it was actually good.
You had Florida and Georgia and LSU, and I mean it was Auburn. I mean that's the SEC that you need.
Yep.
Now it's like you have Alabama, Georgia. We talked about this, making the move to be a dog shit team again.
Yeah.
LSU had their one. They're going to end up firing their coach. They're not going to be any good.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Florida's on their way back. They won't be.
Yeah.
Florida's not any good.
Yeah.
They were good in 1990, and they were good under Urban Meyer, and
and then
irrelevant.
and then Texas A&M. It's like, come
who are
on.
They've never been anybody.
No.
It's just not what it was, and that's the teams in the SEC are better than the rest of the teams in the other conferences. But let's not just act like they're championship caliber teams because they're not.
Yeah.
Georgia is fucking Michigan. That's who they are.
Yeah.
Comparatively, I mean, it's, now Georgia would beat the dog shit out of Michigan, but hey, this is our second best program, and you're not touching the best program. So that's just.
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
And it puts so much, and it gets to like boxing. Like so much in college football, like you have to be undefeated. Unless you're not in one of these conferences and you go undefeated, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like in boxing, they don't ever fight anybody because if you lose in boxing, your fucking career is over. I'm like, well, if we expand to 16, maybe Alabama and Ohio State could play each other in the regular season, and Clemson, and Georgia, Georgia, because it doesn't matter. Like if Ohio State plays Georgia, if Ohio State dog walks Georgia, doesn't matter, but they're two massive programs that played each other at least.
Exactly.
Or if Georgia dog walks Ohio State. Either way, it's two matchups. I mean, the big matchup playing Oregon, that's great, but they're a West Coast team and nobody fucking cares.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah,
if it would be okay to lose a couple games,
then you would see
you
those.
Can maybe get some.
Yeah, which is why, and I know they play way more games, but it's why college basketball gets a lot of the traction that it does because you have the Big Ten ACC matchup.
Yeah.
You have, all of these teams. You have right at the beginning of the year, you have Michigan State, Duke, Kentucky, and Kansas all play one another, and they switch it every year. You have those top-tier programs play other top-tier programs. It's why people fucking watch it as much as they do, whether it's good basketball or not. All 4 of those teams last year were horrible.
Yeah.
But I bet those 2 games were some of the highest-rated games that were watched because of those 2 fucking programs.
Yeah.
4 fucking programs.
Yeah, it's like you tell me you're not going to watch Michigan play LSU, and they're both bad.
Yeah, I'm watching
but
that.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Because, that's the other, whenever a lot of guys talk about they don't have any big games, it's like, well, Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama don't have to play each other. I mean, I think Clemson plays somebody in the SEC this year.
Do they?
I think so. I seen some, like a Instagram thing that had like biggest games coming up, and they ranked them through and one of them was like had fucking Miami on there. Like, who gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
But I mean, like if Clemson plays Georgia, Clemson plays Auburn, those
they play Georgia. Clemson plays Georgia right off the bat.
That's a big game.
It is a huge game.
Huge game. They don't have to play each other.
No.
Ohio State plays LSU.
Yep.
That's going to sell a lot of spots on ESPN.
Fucking A, it is. And it's going to be a fun game to watch, whoever fucking...
Those were massive games when Alabama played USC, and USC was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And Alabama beat the shit out of them.
The 2 or 4 years that Alabama and Michigan played each other, people watched that fucking game.
Yeah.
I watched a shitload.
Big name followings.
Exactly.
Maybe make those games happen.
And
Little
I think
Tennessee State, got to get them on the schedule.
Yeah. But I think you're right. That's all part of why we should expand on the fucking playoffs for that reason. For that reason alone.
It's like 1978 when the Dolphins went undefeated.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Now it'd be something if the Bucks go undefeated. But it's like, hey, the Bucks won the Super Bowl last year. They lost 6 fucking games or 5, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares.
No, nobody cares at all.
Just get into the playoffs, make it happen.
Yep. Like the opening Saturday of college football is supposed to be good. I'm trying to look up the games right now.
Yeah, they've been trying to do that big one. Does Ohio State open? Do they open
Thursday?
Against Oregon, or is that their second game?
This is the second game. They open up on a Thursday of college. Yeah, against Minnesota.
Yeah. See, and that's another one of I have a job. I'm not going to be able to watch that game.
I know. Assholes. But I'm still trying to look at the good games that they're supposed to be putting out.
I think Alabama's playing somebody. We're a great
Miami.
show. Trying to look. Alabama against Miami, and that's rated as a top.
Yeah.
I mean, big programs, but Miami hadn't been a program since 98 or 99. Well, 2000,
2001.
I guess. 2001.
And then Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame, Florida State.
That's all right.
I mean, that's not a bad one.
No.
But it's still that's it.
We're not getting.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
My thought was always expand the playoffs. If you have to give the Power Fives a championship automatically in, okay, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Expand it to 16 though.
Yeah.
Make that happen, and then do that, and then start doing the Big Ten ACC challenge type stuff. Hey,
that'd be cool.
Week 3 of the season, you're playing an SEC team.
Mm-hmm.
We'll tell you in the off season who the fuck that team is.
Yep.
Because we're going to see where where you rank up. We're not saying that it's got to be 1 against 1, but maybe 1s against 2s or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
The only one I don't want to see is Alabama Rutgers. Like if we do the Big Ten,
like the bottom half, it'd have to be like
your top 5.
Say like Ohio State plays Georgia and Alabama plays Wisconsin.
Yeah, something like that. Yes,
because you're also going to try not to. If you think Ohio State's going to make the playoff, you think Alabama's going to make the playoff. You don't want to tag them up week 1. So that's why they would probably avoid those.
Yes, that's
then so they do that, and then the ACC and the Big 12 can play each other.
Yep.
And the Pac-12 can play some non-Power 5 schools or whatever. I don't know what they do out there.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing out there. Yeah,
but and then switch it, and then hey, Big 10 and ACC's doing it, and it makes sense.
You could do it.
Why are they not listing What the fuck is wrong with the NCAA not listening to Wideside Sports?
We should be in charge of the NAACP. No, not that one. It's NCAA.
Whoa.
My fault.
Whoa.
Too many. My bad. Wrong thing.
I think they make documentaries about that shit.
My bad. No. Take that back.
The NCAA.
My fault. Wow. I was way off on that. Way off on my initials. All right. Yeah, we should be in charge of college football. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
No. God. Oops. I apologize. That's not my intention whatsoever. I am
put
sorry.
Some extra letters on the end of it.
My fault.
That's fucking great.
My fault.
Yeah, you should be in charge.
Yeah. Of college football. Football, yes. We would be good at it.
Yeah, how about give the people what they want to see?
I know. Seems like we should do that.
16-game playoff, 16 team. Just let the people in. Because it means something for them to make the playoff.
Yeah.
Everybody else, all the fucking chancellors and stuff is like, well, if they don't have a chance to win the national championship, why should it be in? Well, you're also the chancellor at Alabama.
Yeah, exactly.
What if you were the chancellor at Cincinnati?
Uh-huh.
Would maybe just getting a shot be worth something to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
And assholes. NCAA assholes.
Yes, they are.
That was a quote from a movie. I've seen it. I think it's on Netflix or whatever, but the program's been popping up.
Prime. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it the other day.
Because the NCAA assholes won't let us have jobs. Guy just gave me $100. It'll be more once you start.
Yep.
That's fucking. I can't.
Did you know that the dude who plays Alex Mack or whoever, Alvin Mack is Wyatt Davis's dad, the guard from Ohio State who just got drafted by the Vikings?
Are you shitting me?
Swear to God.
Because he was a football player. He was also Featherstone.
Yeah. How
about that? You play the fastest wide receiver in one football and then a crazy linebacker in the other. Of like,
mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep.
The program is such a good.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
Obviously, you weren't. I don't even know if you were alive when that came out.
No.
Because they had to take a. I mean, do you know the story that they had to cut a scene out of the movie once it came out?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, because it was a team building thing where like they went down and just laid on the yellow line of a highway just to prove that they were tough, that they wouldn't get scared. Yeah, people started, football team. Yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah, they'll fucking get ran over also. It's also a movie, dumbass. They had to cut that out of the movie.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Yeah, that movie, it's Joe Kane.
Had some problems.
But it is such a. I love the movies like that. That's that. Hey, this is a fictional thing, but this is also like real shit. Like this is what happens.
Oh yeah.
Of like, yeah, these guys are getting handshakes. Yeah, these guys are doing this. Hey, this guy's got to go to rehab because he's a drinker.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have this guy having a cheerleader take his exams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Oh, yeah, fuck
guy on steroids.
God, he was cool. Snot bubbles.
Yeah. What the hell else was he in? I think he's been in quite a.
He was he was Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie ones. I know that.
Was he?
Yeah. He's been in a lot of shit that's like secondary parts, like in the original X-Men. I think he was like Sabretooth.
Yeah. I feel like he's been in some football movies too. Like it's weird that they kind of get typecast into football movies.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think the guy that played Alvin Mack, I want to say he was in like the second Die Hard.
He was in one of those.
The one that like is in the snow because it's like, hey, that's that guy from. Then he gets stabbed in the eye. It's like, well, he wasn't in this for very long.
Latimer was in Any Given Sunday.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about that movie. Like I watch it, but I don't know if I like it or not.
I don't know either. It's good. I really like it. I mean, the best scene is Al Pacino's speech at the end. Like it's
it's all right. But then again, it's like I think one of the reasons I may not like it is I don't believe him as a coach.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
well, I mean, I don't really believe Billy Bob Thornton as a coach either, but I still love that fucking movie.
Yeah, but it's a better movie. I mean, we're not on the same scale.
Okay.
But it's tough, like Al Pacino, of like,
and
I think it's one of those things too of, one of the things that bothers me is they have all the fake teams.
Yeah.
And then they have something that's like, well, you're doing this for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, now you can't, either you're a fake fucking league
or you're not.
Or you're the real league and you paid for the rights.
Yeah.
But let's not. I mean, but again, I think I like the back stuff of like, hey, here's a party where there's a bunch of guys doing cocaine and there's hookers and because that shit happens.
Oh yeah.
But then when they do like the commercial for Metrex, it's like flex your chest with Metrex. I'm like, we just do a commercial in the middle of this fucking movie because like it didn't even tie in; it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
they paid for a lot of shit.
But it's the Al Pacino thing is tough. It's just, come on, Rock.
Yeah.
Like, nobody else calls him Rock. You didn't explain why you're fucking calling him Rock.
I know.
Everybody else calls him Cap.
Yeah.
The fuck is this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's... I like to, like, at that point in time in, like, the NFL, I like to compare, like, who those people were. Like, for sure, Dennis Quaid's Mark Brunell. Like, that was like, the guy I compared him to. And I felt like Jamie Foxx was like Vic. Like, he was like the young guy who was the runner and things like that. You know, wasn't the best passer, but could move on his feet. Like, that's who I felt. And then, like, LL Cool J to me was like Jamal Lewis.
Okay.
Like, you know, the bigger back who was still able to do shit. And then, obviously, the receiver was Terrell Owens. You know, I mean.
Yeah.
And then you had Lawrence Taylor as Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's... That, you know what I mean? But I was just that, you know, as a kid watching it, that's how I did it in my mind. I'm like, yeah, this is, it's kind of cool.
Well, because that was one of the things too of like in that 2004 or 5 or whatever was the football show that ESPN did.
Yeah,
that the NFL is like, hey, you need to not show this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was the behind the scenes of like showing actual shit that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, hey, like you show our highlights and stuff and you want some games, like that shit's stopping. Because it was like everybody loved that show. Great ratings. Yeah, we're canceling it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I wonder why. I wonder why we're doing that. But I
wonder why.
To make a good, like, I want to see like a good football series.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like Ballers, it was, but it wasn't.
Then it went away from football.
But it was never really about
football.
I mean, it's about football players.
Yeah.
But I want to follow like a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a, hey, we're doing this, we're doing, and I mean, you can't make it it's not going to be an NFL thing. Maybe it's a college thing. Like Blue Mountain State, I loved it just because it was funny. But something like, you know, that an actual series.
Mm-hmm. And like, the Friday Night Lights series ended up being a teenage drama, so I didn't like it.
Well, when it started getting into murder.
Yeah.
And then that's the other one of like, I mean, I didn't even watch all of it.
Well, I didn't like it.
We talked about that. This is fucking probably a year ago about what's a series that you gave up on.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Once the murder happened, of like, all right, well, the nerd is with like the hottest chick in school. They started dating and then they killed somebody. And they're like, okay, well, we're done now.
Yeah, it's.
But, like in the first one, it was like, well, you're going to go, we're going to start the show with the quarterback breaking this is a football show.
Yeah.
You're starting it with the quarterback paralyzing himself.
Pretty much. Way to go.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I didn't like it. But like Ballers to me was fun because I kind of like the GM part of it. And like that, I just thought it was, we'd never seen something like that before. Like the agent side of it and the big offensive tackle that was friends with The Rock was starting to do like GM stuff and things like that. Like I thought that was cool, you know?
Well, that's what I'd like to see, you know, just as a one team, but then following the team, but give me an Ari Gold that comes in. Shit, you know, because you got to give some laughs and some freakouts because you know that shit happens.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell me Drew Rosenhaus hadn't done that shit.
For sure.
I mean,
yeah.
That's what I want to see. Fucking Netflix, what are you doing?
Come on. I feel like it's an HBO thing because they already have ties with the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be. I don't think it'd be an NFL. Well, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like they would. I think they would have the best shot at doing something like that just because of their ties.
And I think if you could probably get the NFL to okay it to do that stuff, if you're like, well, hey, it's kind of going to be a football show. It's kind of going to comedy like.
Yes, yeah.
I think Entourage, but
yeah, with football.
I haven't watched that show in a while.
I liked the movie that they came out with. It was pretty funny.
It was all right. It was too late.
Yeah, for sure.
And it, I haven't rewatched the series. I don't know how
I've
well
never
it holds
watched
up.
the series.
It was fucking phenomenal.
Was it?
Because
yeah,
it's one of those things of it's tough to go back and watch that stuff because when that show came out, a show like that didn't exist. And now shows like that do exist. So when you go back, it's like, wow, this seems like it's
already been done. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like I went back and watched The Sopranos because I feel like it wouldn't hold up all that much.
I've never watched that one either.
I mean, Breaking Bad, I know people go back and rewatch that. It's okay.
I didn't watch that one either.
I'll tell you what, that's one of those ones that, like, you could watch it. It's a good show. But if I watched it while it was happening, I had to wait a week for each episode. I'd have never fucking watched it because the first 7 episodes are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like, you lost me after 2.
Yeah.
I never watched the first episode until it was completely off the air. I've done that with many shows. The only way to do it.
Gotta binge it.
Gotta binge. I think I'm done.
I can't think of anything else to talk about.
Nobody's been listening to this thing for a fucking hour. I mean, after we were done talking about baseball, everybody's, they're probably going to start talking football. I don't want to hear this shit. Yeah, let's get out of here.
All righty. Wideside!